What up, everyone? Welcome back to Blade Bias. The Hognose, the Hognose. This little snake boy, the Hognose. This thing has not left my mind since I got it. For many reasons. Most notably, why didn't I like it that much? I still, despite everything I said in the Week with the Hognose video, could not figure it out. And then I finally did. The Hognose, I don't think, is the worst thing ever, which I guess I didn't before. I guess my conclusion before was, it's aight. Some people might not like it, some people probably will. And I still do hold that opinion. I don't think this is for everybody, but I do think it's a little better than I initially gave it credit for. And that is mostly just because, and this is really weird to say, I put some thick lube in it. And it just feels way better now. It sounds better. It feels better. Feels a little bit more solid. The tolerances aren't the only reason I didn't like it. I still do think that the balance is quite weird. It's just a little more tolerable now that the sound and feel of it is just a little bit better. But I've also made a few other kind of revelations on the Hognose, so I wanted to do a follow-up video where I'm now a bit more sure of my thoughts. So the Hognose, I concluded at the end of the Week with the Hognose video, was a weird ballad song that would probably be enjoyed by a few people and probably not be enjoyed by just as many few people. Very polarizing design, I guess I could say. And I just really didn't know what to make of it. It is a budget design from Fellowship Blades, which is great, but it just didn't wow me like I was hoping it was going to. Now, since then, I have been flipping it. Basically, every time I take out my case, I pick it up and I flip it for like 2 minutes. And it has been growing on me since then. The fans are still a little goofy sometimes, but otherwise, I think it flips pretty well. But I think the biggest problem with it is the weight and the size. 3.2 ounces for something that is generally smaller or about the same size as normal balisongs. Something about that I just don't like very much. The Kuno gets a huge pass from me because of its size. Its size makes the weight feel just a little more fun and floaty and cool, whereas this is behaving a little bit more like a normal balisong. So that light kind of weight is not accentuated by any floatiness or anything, and it just feels a little bit weird. So the size, I do think, is the main reason why I didn't like the Hognose very much, because I pick it up and it's small and it feels very insubstantial. It's small and it's light. It's built fine. Like, the aluminum feels good, the machining feels really good. It's very comfortable. It's a great flipper. Besides, I did notice this. It has like this really weird bulge out in the middle, which I don't really notice when I'm flipping, so I guess it's not that big of a deal, but that's a thing. You can see it a lot better there, actually. But what was it? Yeah, it feels good. It feels comfortable. It's just that weight and that size is what I think made it so weird to me. Since then, I've enjoyed it a little bit more. It's certainly not my favorite flipper by any means. I still do think it's a little weird, and I would pick something a little heavier given the choice. Something like gosh, I'm using the same examples every video. How about this? Something like the Orion, which just has a little bit more weight to it, feels a little bit more controllable, a little more normal. But the Hognose is incredibly unique, and I think that's what makes it so special, is that this is a budget flipper that delivers an experience that you can't really get in that price range. There aren't too many crazy unique flippers in the sub $200 space. The only one I can really think of at the top of my head right now is BB Barfly. And BB Barfly is the exact opposite of this. They're big, they're kind of heavy. They're not some small, little, neutral, interesting, unique flipper. I compared it to the Jigsaw, and I think that's the best way to go about it. It really does feel like a budget Jigsaw. because it's small, it's neutral, it's got a little bit of a goofy balance. But if that's what you're looking for, I think the Hognose is great. And actually, it performs deceivingly well in some tricks. I'm not a huge fan of the fanning performance just because something feels a little bit weird on it. But as for everything else, like the Chaplin experience is pretty good. The rollover experience is pretty good. Performs fairly well in the air. Like, it's very predictable. It's very nice. Ladders, I'm not entirely sure on. Because it's light, it's obviously not going to like fly out of your hands or anything. But the jimping, I don't know. This is where you would have to go to someone who's a little bit more of a ladder freak than I am. But this jimping just feels like it wouldn't be it. I mean, I guess it... I don't know. I don't think I'm the best to go off of here. I definitely think it's more grippy than something like the Vulp. But again, it could just be because it's really light. I don't know. I really don't know. So maybe someone who's a little bit better in the ladder department can sound off in the comments if they own a Hognose. I don't find any issues with ladders. I think it feels fine. But again, you're talking about a really small light balisong, so I don't really think the quality of the jimping is going to play like a massive role in that. Even if it was slippery jimping, the fact that it was light and small probably would make it so that it laddered okay, at the very least. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to make a follow-up video on the Hognose since I feel like I wasn't totally fair to it in my first video. Now that I have spent a little more time with it and I've gotten more used to it, I can definitely see the sort of the value of it. I can see the reason it exists. It's a very unique flipper, and I think that's what you're going for. This is an experience that you can't really get at this price point, and it's cool that Grant provides that. I guess for me personally, I would want something just a little bit bigger if we're going to go with this weight. Or if we're going to go for this size, a little bit more heavy, a little heavier. But with the trend of the balisong community into lighter balisongs lately, can't exactly fault it for that. So the little snake boy is okay in my book. And there's a bite handle indicator up here. I think that's what that's supposed to be. I mean, there's this too. I'm not really sure what the point of a bite handle indicator that you can't see when it's closed is, but I don't know. It's pretty cool, I guess. So that's a Hognose. Pretty good flipper. Just a unique one, and one that I can't really guarantee that you're going to love. But if you do, okay, let's say this. I can't guarantee you're going to like it, but if you do, I think you're going to love it. So that's pretty much that. Get some thick lube for it, or maybe yours came a little bit better tuned than mine did. Who knows? And that's pretty much it. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.